So what are the 9 most valuable digital marketing and PR methods or initiatives for care providers if you want to drive more inquiries and get more inquiries, particularly to increase occupancy faster? Now, what I'm going to be doing today is talking about what I consider those 9 most valuable digital PR marketing techniques, where the emphasis is primarily to promote your care homes, your care services, your home care services, if you are wanting ultimately to drive more interest from families in particular. So that's the main emphasis here on this video today. And there are going to be 9 things I'm going to focus on. I'm going to go through them individually, but I am talking about digital marketing and PR in particular. Now, of course, whereas everything is becoming increasingly and is digital now, there is still a time and a place and an effectiveness for direct mail, leaflet drops, and other what may be considered more traditional marketing techniques. But on this video, I'm just going to focus very much on the digital PR and marketing. So number 1, and it may be the most obvious, but I want to focus a little bit on some essentials, is of course your website. Now, when you are doing a website, I'm sure you've got one up already. There are some what I would consider essentials really to make sure you maximize that experience for a particular family if you're trying to generate interest or an inquiry. The first is clarity. Make sure your website is very, very clear on why you are different or special. I see so many care provider websites with pretty much the same thing on every website. So do as much as you can to emphasize why you are different, why family should get in touch with you, whether that because you have a specialist team who have certain characteristics, or whether you do interesting initiatives or exercise classes or other classes that perhaps are above and beyond what other providers do, or perhaps you may have a particular interest or specialism in dementia, for example. The second element that I would advise is to make sure it's really, really hyper-personalized. And what I mean by that, try and bring personalization into your website by having photos of your team, maybe a video message from your manager, that kind of element, maybe real-life photos more than stock photos. That's something I would consider very, very important because it attracts and engages families. Number 3 is make sure, as I've kind of alluded to, have video. I think increasingly now in this age, video is important and useful. It creates engagement. It creates what's called stickiness on your website. And that can be, again, messages from the managers. It can be testimonials. It can be a look around of your home. But to bring in videos as much as you can. And also then you must be thinking about testimonials. Really, I would get testimonials on every single page of your website. So whenever a family is looking around, they can see positive feedback and testimonials from real life people. That's people experiencing your care home, your care service, or your home care agency. And lastly, on the website, and what I consider is very important, is lead magnets. And what's a lead magnet? That's when people are on your website, families are on your website, you want to give them something that they can get in order to give you their contact details so you can get in touch with them. So that might be anything from as simple as a brochure. My recommendation would be always to make sure that people need to give their name, email, and ideally phone number to get that brochure, because in that way you are then capturing the details and you can then get in touch. You can also provide guides like the ultimate guide on choosing a care home, for example, and people who want that guide will most likely be a family member or someone seeking care of some kind, so they will want that guide. And again, make sure you have people have to give their details to to get it. And also make sure that you have a contact form, which is very, very easy to access and to use. And by the way, make sure your telephone number is always visible so people, if they want to, can call you there and then. Top right of the website is usually what's considered primary estate for the phone number to be on a website. So that's the number one of my 9 is the website. The second is Google pay-per-click with tracking. And what I mean by this is you must be running Google Ads, Google pay-per-click campaigns for families who are actively, proactively looking for care. Google pay-per-click is key because it focuses on people who are showing intent. I've done other videos on this. Make sure you're going to have a look, which goes into Google pay-per-click more detail. But Google pay-per-click is the ultimate way to drive families to your website who may not otherwise find your website, find your details about how to contact you, or to get to know about your care service. Google pay-per-click is a vital way to do that. Number 3 I have on my list, you can see I'm just looking down here, is again Facebook ads. Facebook ads, and I'm not talking about organic Facebook posts, I'm talking about ads, particularly to drive and capture the interest of families who are on their phones or on their computer on Facebook, who maybe have an interest in learning more about your care home. So Facebook ads is really, really key way to reach families within your target catchment areas, age 45 plus, because that's the best age for usually people who are seeking a care service or a care home for their loved one. And Facebook ads is a way to reach them. It's a digital way to reach them. Again, I've done a video on Facebook ads. Go and have a look, and you'll be able to get much more detail about how Facebook ads can drive leads if you are trying to promote your care service, your care home, your home care agency. Number 4 is online directories. Yes, of course. So the online directories are really, really vital for SEO, and I'll come into this a little bit later. Is if families are again searching, then online directories such as Automna, Lottie, carehome.co.uk, and there's some others increasingly coming into the landscape, which just maximizes the chances of your care service or care home, your home care agency, being found online when people are searching for care homes or looking around or doing that exploration when they're in the process of searching for care homes. So that's my number 4, is the online directories. Number 5 I have as a PR, and we're focusing on digital PR. So number 5 is digital PR. And what I mean by this, again, is that people find good news stories about your care homes, your home care agency, your care services, and when they are searching online. So that's not only the directories, but again, I've said in other videos, people, you included, are more discerning when you're looking for anything online now, and you are as likely to do a Google News search as you are a Google organic search. So make sure that you focus on making sure your good news stories about your care homes are on Google News, and there are a number of ways that you can do this through press coverage, through other specific editorial directories. Again, I've done another video on this, and if you've got any comments, please add anything in comments as we go, and I can help you out. But that is really, really essential for maximizing the visibility under news. And the good news, you want stories about your care homes to be visible on Google under Google News, not just your website. So that's number 5. Number 6 is, and increasingly so, I think, is live chat. Now, remember, we were talking about the website from the very, very beginning. It's now, and I'm seeing this myself, people use live chat, and people use live chat if it's a good live chat facility, often with real people. And what that means is on your care home website is that you have an option for people to contact contact you via phone, directly, via email, or instantaneously via live chat. We are increasingly using that. I increasingly use that. You probably increasingly use that. And I've seen it increasingly so. Families are making that initial first contact via live chat. And the beauty is that you can make contact with the home instantly, out of hours, during the weekends, with that live chat facilities. And the various services you can now use for live chats. Our preferred partner is a company called Chat for Business, but there's Moneypenny, there's Trusted Care have live chats, and there are other services out there. But increasingly, it's becoming really, really important. And I do repeat, we really notice that. So that is number 6, live chat. Number 7 is telephone recording. Yes, and that's so valuable, because what we encourage you to do is when people are calling your care home after being on Google, and whether that being on Google, organic, Google pay-per-click, or Facebook, or Bing, or other online referral sites. So let's say you have a listing on Lottie or Automna or carehome.co.uk, and they come to your website via that directory. You can have systems in place, and we use a company called MediaHawk. Again, there are others such as, I think, Moneypenny offer this kind of service, whereby you can actually record the call that comes in as a result of that digital path that a prospective family has made. And the beauty is here is not only are you able to record that telephone call to then help with your training and monitoring of how well you handle telephone calls, but with the extra benefit is that you can find out exactly where that telephone call from that family originated from. So it's really, really valuable in this digital PR marketing initiatives that you must be looking at. And number 8 is e-shots. Yes, e-shots are really valuable in the sense that everything I've been talking about serves a purpose. And e-shots serve the purpose of keeping families, stakeholders, professionals, local authorities, social workers, GPs, district nurses, your Rotary clubs, your women's institutes, your charity organizations, your dementia groups, up to date with what you as a local care home are doing. And I can assure you this, local people in your area, particularly targeted individuals, do very much like to hear about what their local care home is up to, what you're doing. We see it ourselves, very high open rates and significant engagement. If you get your e-shots right, and I'm not talking about salesy marketing emails, I'm talking about good news stories from your care homes, or again, other care services or home care services, where you want to celebrate and showcase all the wonderful things that you are doing. And again, you can personalize these emails. So it's always addressed to an individual. It always comes from your, let's say, for example, your manager. And the beauty of it is that you can also add all those prospective families who've contacted you into that e-shot and that email database, that it's forever growing. That email database is forever growing, and it's an ongoing way, as I say, just to stay in touch with those vital stakeholders, influences, and ultimately prospective families and members of your community. And particularly if you value community marketing, and e-shots is a great way to do that. And again, there is a little bit, but you can do tracking. You can find out who opens those emails, who engages with them, who clicks on them, and that's really valuable data for you. So the 9th really most valuable digital PR marketing thing I think you must be doing for your care homes is SEO. Now, when it comes to SEO, which of course is making sure that you show up organically when people are searching, for example, in a care homes or a home care agency in your area, there you can give yourself a bit of a head start by making sure that obviously you are on some of those directories that I've mentioned previously, carehome.co.uk or Tomla, Lottie, and others. And in that way, you are kind of hijacking their high SEO under certain keywords, and doing your own SEO under your own keywords, it does require dedicated time and effort, and it can be done. And but certainly to start off, I would recommend making sure that you are fully visible on those key platforms that I've just mentioned. But for certainly making sure you've got ongoing blog which are updated that use those keywords are really, really helpful for those SEO strategies. So I hope that's helped. And make sure, please, if you've got any questions, put them in comments wherever you can. And if you like this video and you want to make sure that you don't miss any others like it, then make sure you subscribe.